The prison gate slammed shut behind Officer Ryan Carter, a once respected cop, now branded a criminal. His crime? A setup. A betrayal by those he once called his brothers. The world turned against him, but there was only one soul who never would: his 9 partner, Shadow. For 2 years, Ryan sat in his cold prison cell, fighting to prove his innocence. But as the days passed, one thing mattered more than clearing his name: seeing Shadow one last time. Shadow was more than just a police dog. He was Ryan's only family, his only true friend. Then, an unexpected chance came. The warden, reluctant but intrigued by Ryan's loyalty to his 9, granted him a single visit. No one expected what would happen next. As Ryan stepped into the room, he had no idea that Shadow's reaction would leave everyone speechless. Ryan and Shadow had been partners for 5 years, inseparable on and off duty. They trained together, fought crime together, and saved lives together. Shadow wasn't just a 9 unit, he was family. The night Ryan was arrested, Shadow was dragged away, confused and panicked, barking for his partner. Ryan remembered that moment every night in his prison cell, the moment Shadow's cries faded as the cell doors locked. He had lost everything: his job, his reputation, his freedom. But losing Shadow hurt the most. Shadow was reassigned to a new handler, but reports whispered that he never bonded with anyone the same way. He would sit by Ryan's old locker whimpering at night, refusing commands. Even after 2 years, his loyalty never wavered. Now as Ryan waited in the prison visitation room, his hands trembling, he wondered, would Shadow even remember him? The guards led Ryan into a small, gray-walled room. His heart pounded. He had dreamed of this moment for so long, but what if Shadow had moved on? What if 2 years were too long? Then, the door opened. A handler walked in, holding Shadow's leash. The German Shepherd entered cautiously, his ears flicking at the unfamiliar environment. His nose twitched, scanning the room, until his eyes locked onto Ryan. For a heartbeat, time froze. Shadow stood still. His tail didn't wag. His ears stood straight. His deep brown eyes stared, almost in disbelief. Ryan swallowed hard. "Hey, buddy," he whispered. That was all it took. Shadow lunged forward, yanking the leash from the handler's grip. He leaped onto Ryan, whining, licking his face, pressing against him as if trying to merge into him. Ryan, overwhelmed, wrapped his arms around Shadow, his own tears falling freely. The guards stood frozen. They had never seen a reaction like this. The handler, supposed to intervene, just stood back, his mouth slightly open. Shadow whined and nuzzled Ryan's face, his tail wagging furiously, his entire body trembling with excitement. It was as if 2 years apart had never happened. Ryan buried his face into Shadow's fur. "I missed you, buddy," he choked out. And then, something unbelievable happened. Shadow turned sharply toward the guards, his protective instincts flaring. He positioned himself in front of Ryan, growling lowly as if sensing his partner was in danger. No one could believe it. After 2 years, Shadow still saw Ryan as his handler. His loyalty was unshaken. The prison warden, watching through the security cameras, was stunned. That's when everything changed. Word of Shadow's reaction spread like wildfire. News reporters picked up the story, and soon, people began questioning, was Ryan really guilty? Could a dog's unwavering loyalty prove a man's innocence? Shadow's previous handler, now feeling guilty, came forward with shocking information. Shadow never trusted anyone after Ryan, he admitted in an interview. And I started thinking, maybe the wrong man was behind bars. The case was reopened. Lawyers dug deeper, uncovering inconsistencies in the evidence against Ryan. A key witness, once too afraid to speak, finally confessed. Ryan had been framed by corrupt officers covering up their own crimes. The truth hit the public like a storm. Ryan was innocent. The courts moved quickly. Within weeks, his conviction was overturned. The day Ryan walked free, Shadow was waiting at the prison gates, tail wagging, ready to go home with his partner, where he truly belonged. As Ryan stepped out of the prison, he barely had time to breathe before Shadow lunged at him again, tail wagging so hard his whole body shook. Laughter and tears mixed as Ryan hugged him, burying his face in the thick fur of his best friend. Reporters swarmed, cameras flashing, but Ryan ignored them. All that mattered was Shadow. "I told you I'd come back for you," Ryan whispered. The police department, desperate to make things right, not only reinstated Ryan, but also gave him the choice to work with Shadow again. Without hesitation, he agreed. They were a team, always had been, always would be. Their first day back on duty was an emotional one. As Ryan clipped Shadow's badge onto his harness, he smiled. "Ready to go to work, partner?" Shadow barked once, eyes locked on Ryan. They had lost 2 years, but their bond had never broken. Justice had been served. But more importantly, love and loyalty had won. Shadow's loyalty proved what no courtroom could: Ryan was innocent. A dog's love is pure, unshaken by lies or corruption. This story isn't just about justice, it's about the unbreakable bond between a man and his nigh. In a world full of betrayal, Shadow never doubted his partner. And in the end, that loyalty not only freed Ryan, it saved his life. This story reminds us that sometimes, the truth isn't found in evidence or trials. Sometimes, the greatest proof of innocence